What is Spellbreak? Spellbreak is a battle royale game that revolves around, well, magic and spells. It came out on September the 3rd of 2020 into an already crowded and past its peak genre. Who wants battle royales nowadays? Well, before you all answer that question, I have to admit I do love the idea of a battle royale. You get a certain number of people on the random map and now fights! Despite the genre being past its peak, I'd say the player numbers are fairly stable, with PUBG and APEX Legends having somewhat stable player counts. Though, I think Spellbreak isn't comparable to these games due to its completely different feel, besides it's still garnering a core audience since it's just so recent on Steam. Though with 2,000 plus active players, it's not difficult to find a match, fortunately. Spellbreak was developed and published by Proletariat Inc. Proletariat. Where have I heard this before? They haven't released any other games to Steam, but they do have another game in their repertoire, but it's nothing like Spellbreak. And for the first game of its kind made by these developers, I have to say, well done. You got yourselves a unique experience within the battle royale genre, and I think it will be able to garner a core audience or try hard people to really master the combat. Because trust me, the skill ceiling on this game is insanely high. The game has two game modes, plus the practice mode. The practice mode I felt wasn't too helpful. It'll allow you to figure out the combos. Combos? What combos, you say? When you get into a match, you'll be able to select your starting element gauntlet. You can pick one of 8 elements and each will allow you to cast different pair of spells. During the game, you'll find boxes with loot and you may get yourself your second gauntlet from an element different from your starting gauntlet. This means you can pair, for example, a poison gauntlet and a thunder gauntlet. Using the poison cloud, I'm actually not sure that's the name of the skill, but we're calling it that from now on. Followed by a thunderbolt, you can electrify your poison cloud, and the enemy in it will not only get damage over time from the poison, but it will be enabled to attack due to the electricity's effect. You can combine the various elements' special abilities to create unique combo spells like the one I just described. The game also has a 9v9 deathmatch that occurs in the Battle Royale map, where you still have to loot and then go fight somewhere. The difference is that you respawn when you die and you still have all your gear when you respawn. There's still the circle and the circle stages. And then you have your usual solo, duo and squad Battle Royale experience. Spellbreak also has a great deal of verticality, since you can levitate using mana, and there are several skills that you can get by looting runes that put some emphasis on this verticality, like the jump or flight. Not only does this increase verticality, it also increases the skill ceiling, or skill sky to be fairly honest. But don't be disheartened like I was after the tutorial. Yes, Spellbreak starts you off with a nice tutorial to learn the basics of the game. You'll learn the items available, the potions and consumables, and how the combat roughly works. I recommend getting into a couple of 9v9 matches before going in solo, just to get your feet wet and get used to the pace of the game. Spoiler alert, you won't get used to the pace of the game in just a couple of matches. However, it'll ease you into the Battle Royale mode, and personally I was able to get some kills on mostly every solo match I did. Not so much on the squad ones, but I did get assists, so I guess it all checks out. Maybe. Getting top 10 is not very difficult if you're able to kill those who drop near you in the beginning of the match, and it also helps that the max number of players on the map is just 42. Now, I'm not sure why 42, but I think they were going for the meaning of life, or... wait a second, what does that mean?
The answer to the great question,
Yes,
of life, the universe, and everything
yes,
is
yes.
42.
On the crowded genre, where so many smaller games fail, battle royales, the real question is if this game will get enough players to keep it alive in the long term. And the answer from my end is that I am not really sure it will. The hope the developers might have is that the game will get some MMO players that also enjoy the battle royale formula. Or maybe that it will get players who like fast-paced, magic-based combat into this crowded genre. Truth is, Spellbreak is unlike its competition, turning combat 100% into a magic fest. No guns, just magic, and you get a gauntlet right off the gate to get that pace up right from the beginning of the match. Reminds me of Royale, but with more mobility, faster paced, and with a more action-packed combat system. If you've never heard about Royale, it was yet another battle royale that tried to get some of that genre's excitement back in 2018. At first, it saw a decent amount of players come in, but nowadays you have only about 1500 peak users per day, which it's not bad, but it's way past its peak. And truth is, it didn't bring anything new and fresh enough to make it worth sticking around. I fear that Spellbreak might go down this path, just losing players over time. When you look at it closely, it won't take any significant number of players away from PUBG, Fortnite, or Apex. I just don't see it happening, since the gameplay is just so different to call these games competition. It's something different. It'll be a niche game, I believe. I also haven't seen a whole lot of advertisements and or much effort put into the marketing of the game, and I feel that it deserves more attention and more eyeballs into it. As far as esports goes, this game has a ton of potential because of that really high skill ceiling, but with the current player count, I just don't see the devs pushing it down that path. I feel that the combat might be too confusing at times to comment on, but then again, I have under 10 hours on the game, and all you just heard were my first impressions on it, and I gotta admit, I'm impressed. Alright, personally, as the game is for free, if you're into fast-paced combat systems and or magic, give the game a real honest shot here. Anyway, now you know what Spellbreak is. Will you give it a shot? What kind of games would you like to see in the future here? I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Do like the video and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you guys on the next one or on one of my streams. See you next time.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitch, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much.